This is a crash landing that I did not anticipate. And will people at ESPN and in the mainstream sports media, will they be allowed to talk about, honestly, like what's going on with LeBron James? Because, I'm not sure, Clutch Sports and Rich Paul may have so much influence that this never gets talked about in a real way.
Why would you want to trade away valuable pieces to bring in this prima donna for what, 1 year, maybe 2 at most? And then, Steve, to your point, Bronny's coming with. Like, they're not, it's going to be a package deal. So LeBron thinks, again, he's overplayed his hand here. Not only can I dupe some contender into taking my 55 mil, I'll get him to bring my bum son along with me, too. Nobody wants this arrangement, so he's stuck in Lakerland here for the year, and unfortunately, the Lakers are stuck with him.
Jason Whitlock and the crew goes off on Bronny and LeBron James. Check out what they had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Bronny James, he's 7 for 28 in 4 preseason games from the field. He's 2 for 13, I believe, from three-point range. He's got 8 assists and 8 turnovers. He's moving into year 2. This guy is not an NBA player.
Facts.
LeBron James, in my view, and I think Scap is going to back me up here, has come up and faked some sort of injury. I don't think LeBron is comfortable with Luka Doncic and the direction the organization is moving, and perhaps wants his way out, and maybe is trying to force his way out. Scap, I'm going to let you frame this up for me. For what's going on with LeBron, and is it connected, and what do you think about what's going on with Bronny James and this whole deal where from Shedeur Sanders to Arch Manning, these second-generation kids seem to be disasters that are being forced upon us?
In my opinion, I do believe LeBron James is faking this injury. Yeah, he may be hurt. He may be experiencing some discomfort, but why announce this 2 weeks before the season? If you haven't been playing basketball, like real basketball, since July and August, why announce it 2 weeks before the NBA season starts? So I think that's his way of getting revenge on the Lakers. Then you had the fake retirement thing. Then you got his puppet, JJ Redick. He has to go along with it like we all knew, which I'm sure they had an idea what was going on. But again, LeBron James is looking bad out there. And as far as Bronny, he's not an NBA player. He's not NBA ready. At best, G League, YMCA League, he can ball out. Yeah, he's going to have a random game where he gets 17 points when a lot of the starters aren't playing if he's on an NBA floor. But Bronny James shouldn't be in the league, and LeBron James is a fraud.
Jason, wow, there's a lot there to unpack. I think you're right. It all does stem from LeBron James, though, and his really fractured relationship at this point with the Lakers. It began, back into the summertime when Luka Doncic was notified that the team was about to sell. That was a bit of a, like an earth-shattering, like groundbreaking moment. The Lakers sold for a record-breaking evaluation at the time, and LeBron had no idea that it was coming. He obviously, his confidant, Jeannie Buss, has remained. She's still like the governor of the team or something, so she's still highly involved. But the fact that LeBron was not informed about that deal prior to it being made, and the fact that Luka Doncic was, I believe that really started the rift between LeBron and organization. Couple that with the fact that obviously Rob Pelinka and the upper crust, if you will, of the Lakers front office, they're building towards Luka right now. And of course they should be.
Yeah, it's obvious the Lakers are building around Luka. They can't afford to have a 40, 41-year-old run the franchise. They gave LeBron James a lot of leeway. They mortgaged away their young future for AD, and the remaining young future, they traded it away to Washington for Russell Westbrook, which didn't end well. And that kind of messed up Russell Westbrook's career joining the Lakers. And then, trading away Anthony Davis for Luka. That was probably the best thing that the Lakers did in the last, 8 years, ever since LeBron James. Yeah, he delivered them a bubble championship. Congrats to him. But he hasn't delivered them like a real NBA championship, real playoff moments. You got the crowd booing you. You're going from state to state, city to city, trying to win a playoff series. So yeah, people are going to say LeBron James technically technically won a championship for the Lakers, but again, it didn't really count in my opinion. LeBron James is being exposed. Shout out to everybody on the Whitlock crew. Fearless, really exposing LeBron James for who he really is.
Working towards the future, but LeBron in his infinite and really fragile ego, he just can't take it. I don't think he has never been like the sun to every solar system that he's been in throughout the entirety of his NBA career. So it's off of the court, Jason, and it's on the court that they're going to be funneling things more through Luka. And I think, quite frankly, LeBron didn't want any part of this, but he had no contingency. There was no exit strategy, if you will. Like, where was he going to go if he declined his player option in the summer? What were the options?
Yeah, LeBron James was limited, even though there was alleged 4 teams that may be in the mix for LeBron James services. But at the end of the day, by this being abrupt, not getting the extension that he wanted, them signing Luka to that extension, the selling of the team, it caught LeBron James off guard. Then he had to send his puppet, Rich Paul, out there to make these bogus statements like LeBron still wants to win. And it's like they're surveying the Lakers, seeing what's going on, like they're going to make another decision, the fake decision. Again, just a lot of cap, a lot of BS coming from the LeBron camp, Clutch Sports camp, the organization that he's running through Rich Paul, his puppet. So again, LeBron James, he didn't have an exit strategy with the Lakers, and you're seeing it. So since I can't exit the Lakers, I'm going to go ahead and allegedly fake an injury. He's hurting right now, but he's in practice, laughing, doing little layups on the Kai Cenat stream, dancing, and just doing everything except practicing with the team and getting ready for opening night. If this were a playoff series, would LeBron James be playing right now? Would he have announced this, let's say in February, and then he has this issue, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks before the playoffs, he announced that he's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks, reevaluated. So again, LeBron James, he's real calculated, but people are starting to catch on to LeBron James BS.
He was either going to have to take like a veteran minimum or a mini mid-level exception to play on a contender. Could his ego take that, going from $55 million a year to like $3 or $4 million a year? So The other option would have been take a lot of money and go to some garbagey team and just jack up 20 shots a game. I don't think any of those were appealing for LeBron. So he activated his player option with the Lakers. And now I think he's just kind of trying to figure out what's next for him. What's next for him right now, though, Jason, is, again, you hit the nail on the head. He's faking some kind of nerve inflammation, like a sciatica issue. He's going to miss the first 3 to 4 weeks in the into the regular season. It's gonna stream over. So in the interim, we've gotten a good look at Junior, as you mentioned.
Hold for 1 second. I've asked you to unpack too much. Let's put a pin there and stick to LeBron James. Steve.
Yeah, going back to what Scap was talking about him, potentially faking that injury. And that's my opinion. I'm going to say allegedly only because he could be hurting. But what's the severity? Again, if this was a playoff series, would he be able to play? If the playoffs were starting next week, would he have announced 2 weeks before the playoffs that he's going to be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks? He would really have to despise the Lakers in order to do so. So I don't think it's that. It's just he knows how to take advantage of the moment, take advantage of the Lakers. They're kind of stuck with them for the next 8 or 9 months. You're paying someone $53 million. You're going to try to work with them. But if the Lakers know what's good for them, you don't sign LeBron James if it's any inclination that he wants to continue his career. Let him continue his career elsewhere. The Cavs, the Clippers, whomever. He already practiced in their facilities throughout the summer, taking pictures. So he's kind of rubbing it in the Lakers' face like, either way, I don't get an extension. You still owe me $53 million. And then I'm going to troll you throughout the summer, throughout the regular season. Announce a fictitious injury. Going to be out 3 to 4 weeks minimum, reevaluated. I think LeBron James is going to miss at least 2 months. Don't be surprised if you see him return sometime in December.
Well, if LeBron is the sun, I want a sunset. Good grief. So if he's already out a couple of weeks, well, then there's good news. He's already in midseason form. And I'm sure you guys have seen that meme where the two Spider-Men are kind of like pointing at each other, right? So this is like two sides saying, you're holding me hostage. And the other side's like, no, you're holding me hostage. This is like a double hostage situation. I'm just like, one guy can't wait to leave, and the other side probably can't wait for him to leave. And I have a question. As a Laker fan in recess, I don't know all the NBA collective bargaining rules. I don't care about that anymore. But should LeBron depart, either by trade or he just retires, are we stuck with Bronny Jr.?
LeBron definitely needs to leave. I don't care what he does after the Lakers. And I'm a Heat fan. That's why I started watching basketball. But I respect the Lakers organization. Shout out to Kobe Bean Bryant, Shaq, Magic Johnson, Kareem, all the great days, all the glory days with the Lakers. Yeah, LeBron James delivered you a bubble championship, and he thinks he can just run the organization. Yeah, for the most part he did. He snapped his fingers, got AD. Snapped his fingers, got Russell Westbrook. And the worst, got Bronny James into the league, knowing that he wasn't an NBA-ready player, but that's your son, and I guess you're going to do what you got to do for your family. But it made the Lakers organization look like a clown show. So shout out to the Lakers for finally standing on business. They're playing political in the media, but they got to really take it to the next level and get rid of LeBron James by any means necessary. Either trade him, cut him, or let him walk in the offseason.
After that, I never had really thought about it till this subject came up, and I'm like, I may be a Laker fan in recess longer than I thought. That is depressing. Ugh.
Go ahead, Scap.
Let me interject in here real quick. I think LeBron overplayed his hand. Ultimately, I think he overestimated his own value and importance at this stage. I think he felt that if he activated the player option, it would be the best of two worlds. He could then get himself to a contender like, say, Dallas, for instance, still save face by making the big money because it's trading from the Lakers. But Dallas doesn't want anything to do with that, nor does any other high-level contender. Why would you want to trade away valuable pieces to bring in this prima donna for what, 1 year, maybe 2 at most? And then, Steve, to your point, Bronny's coming with. Like, they're not, it's going to be a package deal. So LeBron thinks, again, he's overplayed his hand here. Not only can I dupe some contender into taking my 55 mil, I'll get him to bring my bum son along with me, too. Nobody wants this arrangement. So he's stuck in Lakerland here for the year. And unfortunately, the Lakers are stuck with him.
Yeah, Bron definitely overplayed his hand, and it is a package deal with Bronny. If you think LeBron James is going to leave and not take his son, you got another thing coming. So I don't know what's going to happen if LeBron signs with another team as a free agent. Does Rich Paul try to work on a trade to get him on that team? It's going to be tough to get rid of Bronny, but easy at the same time because the Lakers don't want Bronny James. They only did it for LeBron. But again, if he's not on the Lakers organization, not on that team, there's no reason to keep Bronny. You see how he's playing in the preseason? Scared to shoot now after 1-12 the first game. Now he's shooting 1 or 2 shots, still turning the ball over, looking confused on defense, doesn't know what to do on offense but running the corner. Bronny shouldn't be in the league. LeBron shouldn't be on the Lakers, and it's time for them to go. I hope he leaves after this season.
Jason, I know you don't go through this because you only fly first in business class. For us plebes, this is like when you go to Southwest Airlines. You got a good seat, right? And then there's a seat right next to you that's open. And you don't care who sits next to you. But then all of a sudden, that woman with the crying infant sits right next to you, and you're like, oh, my God. So basically, Bronny is the unwanted carry-on. Gotcha, Scap. Got you.
He's got a 4-year deal. Bronny does. And the Lakers seem stuck with him. And for the moment, they seem stuck with LeBron. This is a crash landing that I did not anticipate. And I can see why LeBron is caught off guard. Hey, the television ratings are built around me. If I'm not in the finals, I don't make a deep run in the finals, the ratings go down. I don't blame LeBron for overplaying his hand or overestimating his hand. He may not have overplayed, he just may have overestimated it, and he's caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm sitting here right now trying to think of what the analogy would be. What superstar player has had a potential crash landing like this? And will people at ESPN and in the mainstream sports media, will they be allowed to talk about, honestly, like, what's going on with LeBron James? Because, I'm not sure, Clutch Sports and Rich Paul may have so much influence that this never gets talked about in a real way.
Yeah, Clutch and LeBron, they definitely have influence within the media, so they're not going to cover Bronny playing like trash. They're not going to cover these last few years with LeBron. if it doesn't go well, minus the 40K points. After that championship, the bubble championship, there really isn't anything to cover with LeBron. So they're going to try to hype up the Bronny story, getting into the league. But again, with the media, this thing goes bad, they're not going to cover it. He still has influence. And with the new media, these new players getting into media that rock with LeBron, that look up to him, and they call LeBron their GOAT, he has a lot of power, still has a lot of influence. They're not going to cover this in mainstream media. LeBron and Bronny are protected.